Well, I guess we'll get started. Anyone that wants to jump in later can just jump in. If you were here earlier, you heard me say this, but my name's Julia. I've been a yoga instructor for many years, since 2002, and love it. But this is my first class back in quite a while. I haven't taught a class for about a year, so I'm a little rusty with some things. Hopefully getting back into it after today. But if you guys have a yoga block, great. If you don't, it's fine. Just grab a pillow. That might help you in some of the poses. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have a yoga block, a yoga mat, go ahead and pull the yoga mat out, get it set up, and we'll get started. We'll just start in an easy seated position. It's called easy pose. You may want to have your water handy too. If you're in easy pose, it's just a seated cross-legged position. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. In the cross-legged position, your knees might not be comfortable here. That's why I said to grab a pillow or a yoga block. So I'm going to grab my pillow here. And what you might want to do is just sit on the pillow. And with your hips up on a pillow, it does help relieve some of the stress on the knees. It gives you a little more space to sit cross-legged. You don't have to sit cross-legged either if that doesn't feel so good. So find your comfortable seated position. Can y'all hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, great. Got it. So if you're seated here, you found your comfortable seated position, go ahead and just maybe root down a little bit into the mat. And we're just going to take a quiet moment here just to breathe. You might have had a busy day so far. You might have a busy day ahead. This is the time where we can stop that busyness for a moment and just be present. Yoga means union, and it's really the union of the mind and the body. And so many times our mind is racing. Our mind might be on the next thing we have to get done. So let's take a moment to really practice yoga in the mind, and that's getting our thoughts centered on where we are. And the easiest way to do that is to focus on the breath. You hear a lot about yoga breathing. And yoga breathing can really be anything you want it to be. You can breathe deep, you can just breathe normally and notice the breath. Maybe you breathe slow inhale, slow exhale. Maybe your inhale is longer, your exhale is longer. But let's just take a moment to notice what the breath is doing. Yoga is also a good time to think about posture. We go through our day very hunched over when we're on the phone, on the computer, if we're driving. So with yoga, we want to lengthen the spine, and the way to do that is just pretend like you've got a string at the top of your head that's being lifted like a puppet, and you're being pulled up a little bit taller, stacking the joints of the vertebrae. And this is good to practice, but it also helps open the lungs so the breath can get in deeper. So let's take a few more breaths here. A little bit slower and deeper than our normal breaths. You may want to close the eyes. Maybe squeeze the shoulders up to the ears and then release them back down. Make sure they're not lifted. One more full breath here. And you can open your eyes if you like. We'll take some tiny movements with this. So with the inhale, just keeping your hands on the kneecaps or on the thigh. Inhale to stretch the chest forward, lifting the chin. Really try to expand the chest. And exhale to the opposite, taking the chin down towards the chest, letting the back poke out behind you, shoulder blades wide. Inhale, stretch the chest forward. It's like Superman S on your chest. You want to show it off, right? Exhale, tuck it in. Shoulders rounding forward, chin to chest. Couple more like that. Look, show your Superman S. Shoulders back, shoulder blades close together and back, squeezing. And exhale, kind of curl inward, tucking in like a wilting flower. Come up tall to a seated position. Remember the string being pulled tight on top of your head. Let's take the hands to the sides. With an inhale, lift the palms up, overhead, lightly kiss the hands together, and exhale back down. You can kind of swim the palms down to the mat. Keep going with me. Inhale to lift all the way up, touching the palms lightly at the top. And exhale, bring the hands back down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Just one side here. Inhale to lift up and over. Reaching long down the side of your body. We'll hold for a few breaths here, really lengthening from the fingers to the hip. And release down, exhaling. Other side, inhale to lift up and over, lengthening side body. Another breath here. Maybe even spiraling open a little bit more. And exhale down. Both arms up to reach. Palms together, this time palms down to the heart in prayer position. Pressing the palms together, squeezing. Inhale all the way up. And release down, exhale. Inhale, lift all the way up. Palms touch together. This time open up, twisting to one side. Open, 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 open. One finger is touching lightly in front, one finger in the back. Look back over your shoulder if you can. Inhale, reaching back up, turning towards the front. And switch to the other side. One hand lightly in front, one hand in back, looking towards your back. See what's behind you. Stretching the neck. Inhale, back up to the front. Palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Elbows out wide. Press together. And release. Okay, now let's notice the way our feet and our legs are crossed. Let's recross the legs. So think about which leg is in front. Let's switch it up. Do you ever do that? It feels funny sometimes if you aren't used to doing that. Switch to the other leg in front. And we'll start that same sequence again. Start out with our chest nice and tall. Hands beside you. Inhale to lift up, reaching high, reaching high, reaching high. Touch the palms. And side bend over to one side. Open up to the ceiling or the sky, bringing the elbow back a little bit so you can feel more opening in the chest, in the heart area. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale to the other side. Reaching, reaching, spiraling open. Feeling length. We want to create length. In this length we create, allow more good things in. Creating space. Inhale to lift up. Palms together, hands to heart center. Press the palms together. Inhale, press up high. Twisting to one side, one hand in front, one hand in back. Opening, looking towards the back. How far can you see behind you? Inhale, lift both arms up, back to the center. And twist to the other way, other direction. Eyes in the back of your head, see what's behind you. Inhale, back up to heart center, back up to the center in the front. And palms touch down to heart center here. With the elbows out wide, press the palms. Inhale the arms back up. And release down to the sides. Exhaling. Let's take the feet out. So uncrossing the legs. Take the feet out a little bit in front. And put the soles of the feet together. You can be barefoot or you can have shoes or socks on. Socks are a little slippery on the mat, so barefoot or shoes are best. Okay, so we're sitting up nice and tall here with our feet together, the soles of our feet touching. Let's grab the sides of your thighs or your shins or your ankles. Take a deep breath in. And then lower your chest down. Think of your chest going down rather than your nose, because when we think about our nose going low, we round the back and we spend so much time rounded. We want to now keep that to a minimum in our practice, really expanding the chest. And when you expand the chest and lower the chest, you feel more of a stretch in the back of your legs, maybe the back of your thighs, around the hips. You can also grab the toes with your palms and clasp your fingers around your toes. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you're flexible. Maybe you're able to reach your hands all the way down to the mat in front of you. Walk your hands back in if they're out in front. Sit up nice and tall. And let's take one leg out in front. Keep the other one tucked in. We'll bring the other foot to the inner thigh of the straight leg. This is called Janushirshasana. I have a hard time saying that one. Head to knee pose. So with the one foot in the inner thigh, the other leg straight. We'll inhale to lift the arms up. Turning towards the straight leg, just twisting slightly, and exhale to reach down towards the leg. Maybe you're touching your feet, maybe your shin, maybe your knee. Again, your chest is called head to knee pose, but let's think of the chest towards the knee. And you can also give it a little bit of a pull if you want to on your leg, but just an easy stretch. We're still warming up. We don't want to overstretch the legs. I've had students that really push into a stretch and end up getting injured. It's not about a single day of stretching. It's about a little bit every day. Is how to cultivate flexibility. Okay, the hand opposite the straight leg is going to lift up and overhead, so your side goes down towards the straight leg. Reaching overhead, lengthening the side, lengthening the back of the leg. Try to keep your foot active, pull the toes towards you, and if you can, reach down to grab the pinky side of your toes. On the inhale, stretch it all the way up. Reach that hand back behind you. And now the opposite arm lifts up and back. Roll onto your shins and lift your shin of the bent leg and lift the hips. Let your head hang back. This is called stargazer pose. And then roll back down to the mat or your pillow. Let's stretch the opposite leg. So bring the straight leg back in. That's going to tuck into the inner thigh. The other leg straightens out in front of you. Okay, sit nice and tall. Find your sit bones into the pillow or the mat. Remember that foot is active, so pulling the toe back. Inhale, lift the arms up high above you. Turn slightly towards the straight leg. And exhale, reaching down, chest towards the knee. And it's okay if one side is tighter than the other, that's normal. One side may be a little more cranky than the other, but just remember not to overdo it, not to push yourself to get the sides equal. Just allow it to be what it is. Take the hand opposite of the straight leg, lift it up and overhead, and reach towards the foot, if you can, grabbing the pinky toe. Don't ever sacrifice good form to grab the toe. And reach up and overhead, back behind you. The other arm lifts up and back, rolling onto the shin of the bent leg, hips lift for stargazer. And back down, rolling forward, down onto your pillow or your mat. And bring both knees in. Rock it over onto hands and knees. Okay, you may want to move the pillow at this point. Hands and knees. Or you could also use the pillow underneath your hands if you like. Or underneath your knees. From here, let's take it to a little wag. Think about a puppy. I have a puppy in the other room that's surprisingly good right now. She's not crying. But if you hear some strange noises, that's what it is. She's 10 months old, and I got her during quarantine, so she is so spoiled with me being home all the time. Not used to me talking, and it's not to her. All right, so come to the middle. Give your feet a little tap here. Waking up the top of the feet. You make sure your knees are underneath your hips. Your hands are right underneath, or your wrists are underneath your shoulders. So we call this squared up position. Inhale here to lift the head and tailbone where you're arching your back. And exhale to tuck the chin, lift the upper back. We did this while we were seated. Now we'll do it in hands and knees. This is called cat and cow. Inhale to cow where your belly drops. Head and tailbone lift up. Exhale to cat, like an angry cat with the back arched up or lifted up. Tucking the chin. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Couple more, go at your own pace. Just tune inward here, tune into the breath. Find your own rhythm. Remember, in the cow, we feel the shoulder blades come close together and back. And when you're up in cat, the back is lifted. You feel the shoulder blades come wide apart. And let's meet in neutral tabletop pose where your back is level. Let's take the right leg, stretch your right leg back here so it's level with your back, toe is pointed down. Hold it there, keeping the core tight, keeping the belly in. Kind of pull the belly button to the spine. We'll draw a little tiny circle with the heel. Little tiny circles. Tiny circles. And stretch and bring it in. We'll do the same on the other leg. If this does hurt your wrists, some people have like really sensitive wrists, especially from working on the computer, you can come down to your elbows or you can use your pillow. Okay, so either way is fine. Stretch the left leg out straight behind you. Toe pointed down. Nice and level with the back. You don't want to lift it or you don't want to rotate outward. Just try to keep it about the same height as your spine. Draw some little circles with your heel. See how the core has to engage to keep you balanced here? We're engaging core muscles. All right, and stretch, bring it in. And let's sit back into child's pose. Child's pose, you take your knees wide, sit back on your heels or your pillow, stretch your arms out in front. So you can take a break on those wrists and reach your arms out, drop your head down so your forehead, your third eye, we call it in yoga, the top of your, just right between your eyebrows, or a little bit above that, touches the mat. This is a rest pose. We'll stay here for a few breaths, taking some weight off the wrists and relaxing. If this is not comfortable, find another resting position, maybe laying on your stomach or on your side, whatever's comfortable. We'll just take a few breaths here in that break in that resting position. Always honoring your body, never forcing it into a pose, but doing the poses that the body suggests. We always ask, we don't tell our bodies what to do. Let's make our way back up to hands and knees, or maybe you're on elbows and knees, that's fine too. Square it up into tabletop with the hips right over the kneecaps and the wrists right under the elbow, or the shoulders, wrists under the elbows too. So find your tabletop position. Let's reach out the right arm this time and the left leg. Stretch them out long. Think about level with the spine. One straight line, and your thumb is up like you're about to shake hands with someone, and then your toe is pointed down and back, and then bring it back inward to switch the hands and the legs. So we'll do opposite side. Stretch out the left hand, again thumb up, stretch out the right leg, toe down. Nice level, strong position here of the core, finding your balance, and lower down. With an inhale, stretch out right hand, left leg. And exhale down. With an inhale, stretch out left arm, right leg. And lower down. Let's do a few more. Try to be so still that the only things moving are your arm and leg. Your core stays tight and strong and balanced. This is called bird dog for obvious reasons. And it's a very good core strengthening posture. Good for the low back, good for the whole core, the whole middle of the body. A lot of times when people say core, they're just thinking of the abs. The abs are only part of it. Our low back is such an important part. And with so many people getting low back issues, this is a good one to keep the back strong. One more each side. Stretch it out. And in. Stretch it out. And in. Good. Let's take it back to child's pose one more time, stretching taking the knees out to the edges of the mat, sitting back on the heels, walk your hands out, drop your third eye to the mat. Or any comfortable position for you. Maybe your head is cradling and your arms are cradling the pillow. That's fine too. Sometimes I'll stack my fists one on the other and let my head rest there. More breaths here in our resting child's pose. Okay, make your way back up to the tabletop, hands and knees. Tuck the toes here and lift the hips up into downward facing dog. If you're new to yoga, downward facing dog is that inverted V position where you're trying to press towards the back side of your mat. Trying to press the heels towards the ground, never overstretching though. Pressing the weight off your hands towards your legs. If it feels like it's a lot on your hands, just walk your hands in a little bit more so there's more weight over your feet. If it's tight back in the back of the calves or the hamstrings, just pedal. You can do a little bit of loosening here, adding that pedaling movement to your heels by bending one knee and then the other. If it's a lot on your wrist still, you can even put your hands on a small stool or a chair. Okay, walk towards your hands or step up into your forward fold position. This is a position where you're kind of just bent over. Your knees can be generously bent to give you a little more space. Your hamstrings aren't as stretched. And then walk your hands up the front of your legs. This is called half lift right here, where your elbows are in tight, pointed back behind you. Again, your legs can be slightly bent, or what we call soft. Shoulders back, chest out, and then inhale all the way up to a standing position. Nice and tall. Remember that stacked vertical position with the shoulders back. The string is being pulled tight on top of your head to keep your posture good. Let's inhale to lift the arms up. Exhale to bow forward into that forward fold position. You can keep the knees bent, soft. Drop the chin down, relax. Even walk the hands over to one foot. Walk the hands to the other foot, just a little slight twist here. Come back to the middle. Come up to a half lift, walking your hands up to the thighs, shoulders back, chest out. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up tall. Exhale, hands together, down to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. We call this swan dive with your arms wide. Bow forward into forward fold. Inhale up to a half lift. Exhale down. Step back one foot, then the other into a high plank position. You can also drop the knees to the ground here for modified plank. Your choice. Take an inhale. On the exhale, lower down so your chest comes to the mat. Inhale up to a little cobra pose, peeling head and shoulders off the mat. Exhale down. Push back into child's pose. You can keep your knees together. Bring the hands behind you, or you can do the child's pose we did before with the knees wide. Just for a short rest here. Now walking hands in front. If they're behind you, come up into a downward facing dog by tucking the toes, lifting the hips. Pedal the feet if you like. You can hop, step, or tiny walk forward, tiny steps. Come to the forward fold position. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down. Inhale all the way up tall, hands together at the top. You can be looking up above you if you want. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale to swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale down, plant the palms, step back into your high plank, or not with your knees down, modified plank. Inhale here, exhale, lower. Try to control that lowering down. Inhale, peel up for cobra, peeling the front, off the mat. Exhale, back child's pose. Inhale, back up to hands and knees, tabletop, tuck the toes, and lift for downward facing dog. Really feeling some length here in the back of the body, I hope. On your next exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the front. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up tall, reversing the swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. We haven't taken a water break yet, so go ahead and grab your bottle if you like. Grab a sip. There's a puppy crying in the other room if you hear it. She's like, why can't I be in your yoga class? Because she likes to bite my yoga mat and try to drag it across the room. I'm going to turn my yoga mat to face you now. This is what I call a Tai Chi flow. It's kind of reminiscent of Tai Chi. So we'll do a balancing flowing series here. This is the class, we're doing a style of yoga called Vinyasa flow. So with Vinyasa flow, there's a lot of flowing movements in a sequence. So we'll start out with this sequence that I really like. I had a great yoga teacher that was into Tai Chi. So this is a series that I learned from him. It's also adding balance. So we'll do balancing movements on the legs. First, inhale all the way up, arms up ahead or overhead. Let's lift the right knee up. Okay, and hip is flexed in front, knee is up, finding your balance. We'll go through this series slow before we go put it all together a little faster. Step the lifted leg back behind you, and the toes can be facing forward. Let me find my balance here. Toes can be facing forward. If you lose balance, don't worry. Nobody's perfect, right? So we're all, even yoga instructors have balance issues sometimes. So step back, toes are facing forward. Let's press the hands out in front. Palms are up. That is an exhale. With an inhale, pull and straighten the front knee, leaning back. Exhale, push the hands back out in front of you. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Hands behind you. You can grab the wrists or the elbows. Bowing so your shoulder comes into the inner thigh. Inhale, rise up. Step the back leg forward, back to the position we started in. Arms are up, knee is lifted. And exhale to lower the foot down and the arms down to the hips. That's our series. We'll do the other side nice and slow. Inhale, lift up. Left knee rises. Exhale, step back to lunge. Press the arms in front so the front knee is bent. Palms are up in front. Inhale, pull, straighten the front knee, pull the arms back behind. Exhale, push. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, bow, crossing the arms and back, grabbing the wrists or the elbows, shoulder to the inner thigh or the knee. Inhale, rise up, bouncing on the front leg, keeping the other leg steady as you can. And exhale, lowering foot and arms to the ground. Good. Take a breath here. Resetting, we'll do that again.
Boy, I thought yoga was supposed to be relaxing. I'm tired.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes. We'll do some relaxing at the end, don't worry. Inhale, lift the arms up. Lift the right leg. Step back, press the hands in front. When you get to the end, you're really ready to relax, so it feels great.
Okay.
Inhale, pull in, straighten the front leg. Open the chest with the elbows back. Exhale, push forward, bending into the front knee. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, bow inward into the front thigh. It's a humble warrior position, it's called. Inhale, lift the arms, step forward onto the front leg. And exhale, lower the foot and the arms down. Inhale, lift the other leg. Left knee up, arms up. Exhale, step back, push, lunge. Inhale, pull, straighten the front leg. Open the chest. Exhale, push, lunge into the front knee. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Humble warrior. Inhale, lift the arms, step forward, balancing. And exhale, lower down. One more time each side. Take a few minutes take a few breaths to reset. Standing up tall, that marionette string, that puppet string is pulling our joints in alignment. Okay, one more time each side with the flow. And we'll go through it a little bit faster with the breath. Inhale, lift up, right leg up. Exhale, step back, push. Inhale, pull, straighten the front leg. Exhale, push. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale up to balance. And exhale, lower down. Other side, inhale, lift. Exhale, push. Inhale, pull. Exhale, push. Inhale, lift up. Bow, exhale. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Relax. All right, take a few breaths here. Hands can be at your side or at heart center. Catch your breath. Relax. Make any movements that feel good. For me, shoulders always feel good when I roll them back and down. Let's lift the arms up. Grab the right wrist with the left hand, pull it over slightly. Even take the right leg back behind. Give it a nice stretch to the side, crescent lunge. Bring it back up, step to the middle, arms down and relax. Other side, lift the arms up, inhale. Grab the left wrist with the right hand, pull it overhead, lengthening the left side. Step the left foot back behind. Inhale all the way back up, stepping side by side feet, and exhale down. Okay, we'll do one more quick flow, and then we'll get into some final relaxation. Grab some water. I'm going to turn my mat to the side so you can see me better. How are we doing so far?
Good.
Good?
I'm hanging in here.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so from the front of your mat, facing the front of your mat, nice and tall, we call this mountain pose. Inhale to lift the arms up. Step back. Step back with the left leg. Keeping the edge of your foot, the big toe edge of your foot on the mat. The front thigh is working here as your knee bends into a lunge. Arms come up overhead into a warrior one. Twisting towards the front knee, your tendency is going to be to want to twist towards the back leg. So bring it to the right the right hip crease. Big inhale here in warrior one. And then open up into warrior two. This is arms out level. Think about looking towards your fingertips, trying to make that front thigh as flat as possible. But if your legs are tired, you can do a little rock here. Let's reach a little further forward, bending the elbow, resting the forearm onto the thigh. Reach the back arm over, try to make a long diagonal. This is a side angle pose.
Know how I'm supposed to be.
That's it. Good. Let's come back to warrior two. Turn towards the front leg, the bent knee, warrior one. And step together, hands at the heart center. Okay, I'm going to turn to the other side. You can stay where you are, facing the front of your mat. Back to mountain pose with the arms at the side. Inhale, lift the arms up tall. Step back with your right leg. This is your warrior one pose here. Think about the front leg being at 90 degrees as much as possible with the knee over the ankle. Your back toe pointed out to the side or diagonal with your foot down on the mat with the big toe side of the foot touching the mat. Some instructors call that the knife edge of the foot. Open up the arms into a warrior two, stretching them out side by side or horizontal, parallel to the floor. Take an inhale here, stretch to the front, reaching towards your computer, your camera, reaching in front of your mat, and bend the elbow, forearm to the thigh, reaching over. Make that a long diagonal from fingertip to your heel and back. Side angle. Okay, inhale up back to warrior two. Okay, arms up to the ears, warrior one, turning towards the knee that's bent in front. Again, rocking if you need to, if that leg gets tired. Step together in front, mountain pose, hands to heart center, exhale. Now we get to relax. Yay. You did the hard work. Now you get to enjoy it. Go ahead and have a seat down on your mat. Okay, first let's lay all the way back on the mat. Hug the knees in. Hug the knees to your chest. I love this one. You can do a little rock side to side here. Knees into the chest. Really feels good on the low back here. This is a way, if you ever feel like your back's starting to ache, sometimes this just feels great. Or letting your shins or your calves sit on a chair at 90 degrees. So your hips and your knees are at 90 degrees like that. It just feels great to let your low back imprint on the floor. Take one hand on each kneecap, and let's draw circles. Let's take the knees apart and together. Drawing circles. Taking the knees wide and in. So your circles are opposite of each other. The knees come together, the knees go apart. And I want put your back together. Let's switch the direction of those circles. Okay, let's release the right leg. Keep the left leg hugged into your chest. Let the right leg just relax on the mat. Take the left shin in your right hand, pull it across the body so you're twisting. Knee is bent. Left arm out to the side opposite. Your left knee is now pointing to the right side. Your left arm is out to the left side. You may feel this in the low back or in the hip. Just take a few breaths. Your knee doesn't have to be down to the floor. Matter of fact, it's even better if you can keep the right toe pointing up. Come back to the center, hug both knees in again. Now release the left side. Left toe points up. Right knee or right shin in the left hand. Pull the right leg over towards the left with the right arm out opposite. Come back to the center, hug both knees in again. Try to tuck into a tiny little ball here. How small can you be? And then release. Now release everything to the mat. Find a comfortable, relaxing position. And just enjoy for a few moments, enjoy how your body feels at this moment. When you're ready, roll onto your side. Come back up to seated. Take our last big inhale together. Reaching overhead, touching the palms, bring them back down to heart center. I really hope you enjoy this time to reconnect with your body, relax, get some stretching, a little bit of exercise, and taking time to just be in your skin, in your body today. So thank you so much for being here. Namaste.